Today, we see a brand new update to old school RuneScape. We've got a new boss, Araxxor, which is actually an old boss from RuneScape 3, but now it joins old school with new mechanics and new unique drops. A lot of change coming to the game today, so join me as I kill the boss and test out the new items. Araxxor has awoken from his lair, head northwest of sleep to find him. But first, I'm gonna need a Slayer task. That's right, Araxxites are a Slayer task with a Slayer level requirement of 92. Pretty damn steep. But the rewards are certainly going to be worth it. Everyone's already here skipping for a task from Curadel. This is the best place to get the task. And here are some points I prepared earlier. The first thing I have to do is to extend the task, because once I get it, I want a lot of them. It's 150 points for more eyes and more sense. Right, here we go. Don't say I did all that tutorial skipping for nothing. It would be absolutely tragic if I just didn't get it in all these points. Surely, man, 4,000 points I have to receive. Oh, 248 Araxxites. That's so many. Oh, I did all that Slayer for nothing. I have thousands of points. The Araxxite lair is here. It's just northwest of Sleep and south of Port Phatasmus. I've never played RuneScape 3, so I have never slain Araxxor before. But in old school, it is a Slayer boss, so I'm not expecting it to be too demanding. So the Spider Cave from the Night of the Theatre quest has been repurposed into the Araxxor Slayer lair. Inside here resides Araxxor, RuneScape's first ever spider boss. Let's go fight it. I don't know what I'm doing. Araxxor, hello, we first meet. The premise of this fight is that there are eggs around the outside of the arena which will spawn and give you different things to deal with. There we go. Ruptura Araxxite has spawned. What does that do? It blows up next to me. Okay. Now this is day one, so I'm hardly going to be creating a guide, but the boss is fairly easy to kill as you would expect from a Slayer boss. After a few trips, you'll be able to kill it without using any food. And I honestly think that Araxxor will be seen as one of the most enjoyable Slayer bosses. There are no annoying counting mechanics. You can deal with the Araxxites that spawn as you wish, which means the fight is somewhat customizable. And the movement required in the final phase makes for a very enjoyable battle. Alright, there we go. A very horrible first kill, but it doesn't seem too hard. Harvest Araxxor. What are we getting? Rune plate legs pulled fresh out the carcass. Okay, I really like that. Coagulated venom. What is this? Ooh, Araxxite venom sac. Okay, 6 of them. Noxious blade. Ooh! 7 KC. I've already got something. I'm pretty sure that is one of the uniques. Let's go and sell this in the Grand Exchange straight away. Okay, so apparently this is part of the new halberd. Can I trade this? No. What do I do now? Oh no. No way, I can't believe I didn't read the update. The halberd drops in 3 pieces, so I've got 1 of the pieces. I thought I was going to be rich. I also need, alongside the Noxious Blade, the Noxious Point, and the Noxious Pommel. Coagulated Venom is a guaranteed drop from Araxxor if you kill it in a certain time. It's a transmog for the pet, but I don't have the pet. So these Araxxite Venom stacks are tradable, and maybe more interestingly, stackable. And when I get venomed, I can eat 1, which damages me a 4, but it cures venom. I can't see it being particularly useful, but it is kind of interesting. The main use of the venom sacks is to make extended anti-venoms, which... Wait, what? Extended anti-venom plus. Yes, they are something different. Okay. I don't know why they're the same color, man. That's so confusing. And what does the extended anti-venom do? It protects you from venom for longer. Revolutionary. Another unique, Spider Cave teleports. And as you might expect, the Spider Cave teleport puts you right outside the Spider Cave, a very handy way to get back. This is one very interesting thing about Araxxor. If you don't choose to harvest, you instead choose to destroy, you can get yourself a double pet chance. One for the pet hunters there. That's a bit of a novel concept for old school RuneScape. Perhaps that will help the unique drops retain a higher value here. And speaking of the unique drops, that's what I care about today. I believe they are finally on the Grand Exchange. Noxious Halberd. Go on then. Show me the damage. 500 mil, please buy. Okay, we're sorted. And the Arana boots bought as well. So the Arana boots are 40 mil right now. The amulet bought for 170 mil. And the Halberd bought for 179 mil. What a bargain, he says, as this thing's going to be worth 20 mil in a day's time. But, you know, I'll take all the new stuff at once. So let's start simple with the Amulet of Rancor, the first new drop from Araxxor. It looks incredible. And this is now the best in slot melee amulet in old school RuneScape, giving plus 12 strength bonus and plus 5 in all the melee attacks. It is worth noting there are some negatives on mage and range, but overall a very good amulet. Comparing this to the old best in slot, the Amulet of Torture, you're getting a lot more attack bonuses and 2 more strength bonuses than the Torture. You also get that Fashion Escape bonus. Now, with an upgrade like this, it's all about the maxed hits. Previous max strength, Scythe and a Torture, you can hit a 50. With the Rancor, you can now hit a 51, which is an obvious boost in damage for the best setup in the game. However, it depends on what weapon you're using. With a Fang, you do not gain a max hit in max strength. AGS goes from an 87 to an 88. Dragon Dagger is unaffected, and Void Waker gains 2 max hits. However, do not forget about the increased accuracy the Rancor gives you over the Torture. It is pretty significant. Obviously, the Rancor is the superior option to the Torture, but honestly, I can't remember the last time I used a Torture because Blood Fury exists. Now the question is this increase in accuracy and damage in some situations worth trading away the comfy Blood Fury? I'm not so sure. Of course, you'll be using this if you're a high-end player in high-end activities, and you'll be using this where you don't need your health to be replenished. But in most activities, I find myself relying on the Blood Fury, and I'm not sure the Rancor has quite enough bonus to see that changing. However, it is a new piece of max strength, so of course it will be valuable. And if you're wondering, the Darok Bomb goes from a 104 up to 106. Next up is the Noxious Halberd. Now this is an interesting one. I think it looks pretty cool. First thing to have a look at are the stats. Now to get your head around this, the attack speed is 5 ticks and it has a strength bonus of 142. A Zombie Axe Defender has a similar speed and has 113. So it is better than the mid game, but not quite as Scythe at late game. You could also compare it to the AGS. It has the same slash bonus as an Armadillo Godsword, and it has more strength bonus, and it's faster. So if you're whacking with the Godsword, the Noxious Halberd is better in strength and it's faster than an AGS whack. The next thing to consider is this is a halberd. You can attack from further away than you can with a normal weapon, which could give the halberd some unique use cases, especially because its stats are far superior to the slower and weaker Crystal Halberd. Another feature of the Noxious Halberd is that you can inflict venom with this weapon. Up until now, this has only been reserved for the Zulrah weapons. And in max strength, you can hit 67s. The special attack is also an interesting one. You can instantly metabolize any poison you're suffering to buff your next attack. So when I use my special attack, my next hit will be buffed. And my poisonal venom is cured. Now all that together makes the Noxious Halberd a bit of a wacky weapon. But where is it useful? The Noxious Halberd won't be better than a Scythe or a Soul Reaper, but with its stats, it's probably your next best option for slash in the mid game, which means it's very good on its own. Plus the range, and I can see it providing extra value anywhere where you don't want to be in melee distance. So that's combat achievements. Say for example, you're learning the Theatre of Blood and you don't want to be in melee distance of Sotaseg. You can really stand far out and just slice them up here. This is beautiful. And that's the thing, when weapons are a bit weird, you don't really find out their true potential until a few months down the line when everyone's used them for a bit. Not to mention, this might be advantageous at future bosses where you need to stand away from. Verzik, I'm never going to get belly bounced there anymore. Now granted, if you're already good at this content, you won't really be getting much value out of the Noxious Halberd when you can just use your Scythe, but maybe you won't get embarrassed in front of your friends. Lastly, it does have pretty good stats, which means that it's definitely good in PvP. If you get your opponent frozen and you're at distance, you can just slice them up with the Noxious Halberd. This thing can slap pretty damn hard, and if you get onto a corner, you can catch your opponents off guard. You can melee them, but they can't melee you. This weapon won't stay super expensive forever. I expect it to settle around 40 mil, and it'll be a great stepping stone from the mid game to the late game. Finally, we have the Arania boots. Now these boots are hybrid boots with mage bonus, range bonus, and melee bonus. The melee strength is +4, which is the same as Dragon boots. +5 mage bonus puts them at the same as Infinity boots, and +6 range bonus means they're slightly worse than Ranger boots. Actually a very viable pair of boots to run in a lot of scenarios. Switch to these boots, you lose a strength bonus, but you get the mage and range. They are really, really good. Now you don't actually get these boots from the boss. You get them from all these Araxxites outside. Now the best way to kill these are of course on a Slayer task, and Venator Bow is going to be the way forward as you can cannon them as well. Holding over 90,000 XP XP an hour. That is pretty mental. But you don't actually need a Slayer task to kill Araxxites. In the entry area, you can kill them off task. And that means you can boost up to level 92 Slayer to kill them and snag yourself a pair of those boots. Having said that, they haven't said anything about the rates yet, so you could be trolling killing them off task. It might be like 10 times more rare. These boots do excite me though, because they're the new best in slot for 1 defense. They're best in slot strength. They're better than wizard boots, so best in slot mage. And they're pretty damn close to ranger boots, so they are amazing for pures. But it's not just all about the stats with these boots. They have a spidery special effect. When wearing these boots, web-based special attacks from monsters are negated. Right, I've brought the boots to the biggest of spiders. How do I fare in the web attack here? It's not going on my square. Does the web just not appear on my square? I don't know. Oh no, it does. But I can just walk out of it. Okay, that's actually crazy nice. Right, am I stuck in this one? No, not really. I don't know. It seems a bit weird. I should have got stuck in that one as well. That actually is way more chill. Does this work at Arachnis? Normally I would be frozen there in the web, but because of my boots, I am free to just run around. This will make this boss incredibly hands-off at AFK. Do it again, I would be stuck there, but I am absolutely chilling. Didn't even have to re-click the boss. I'm curious to see how this works at Venenatis, because typically the webs are horrible to deal with here. Here comes the web. Hits 0. Okay, so initially it hits a 0 and it gives you a bit more time to react. Compare that to without the boots, the web comes out and instantly we're going to be starting to get drained. Put the boots on and we do get a bit of a grace period there in the web. And with these stats, the Urania boots will definitely hold some value, as they will be the default boots for any Tribrid PKer. Honestly, for a Slayer boss, I think this is a pretty 10 out of 10 update. The rewards are nice, the art looks amazing, and everything just ran smoothly today. Old school RuneScape goes from strength to strength. Don't forget to subscribe.